Welcome to Mystical and Practical, the podcast that demystifies the soul's journey, the spirit world, and spiritual practices. I'm Meli, a past life psychic, certified Akashic Records reader, and channeling coach. Here, we talk about spirit guides, the Akashic Records, reincarnation, and everything that connects the seen to the unseen, all with both feet firmly on the ground. Ready to decode the spirit world and connect with your inner magic? Let's jump right in. Hello, I'm so glad you're here for the very first episode of the Mystical and Practical podcast, and I'm so happy to share this part of my world with you, the spirit world I've explored as a psychic, and how you can start connecting with your own spirit guides, ancestors, angels, or even loved ones who have passed. And today I want to tell you how it all started for me, because maybe you've been wondering, are psychics born this way or can we grow into it? So I'm going to share my story, and at the end, I will tell you what I've come to understand about that. So for me, it all started when I was about 5 years old. One night, I woke up sensing a presence, not with my eyes, but with my third eye. You know how in dreams, with your eyes closed, you can still see things? Well, that's what we call clairvoyance, psychic seeing. So I could feel this presence strongly, that is clairsentience, and I was terrified. And then I heard a voice with my physical ears this time, crystal clear. That's clairaudience, by the way. And I knew the energy was masculine, but I don't remember exactly what he said. That's a long time ago. But I do remember that he felt my fear and he told me, I will leave your room for now. And when I come back, if you're facing away from me, I will know that you do not want any contact. So as soon as this entity left, I turned over, pulled my covers over my head, and I slept that way for years. The next morning, I asked my brother if he played a prank on me, and he hadn't. And I told my mom about the voice, and she just dismissed it. And by the way, for her and my dad, psychics were all charlatans preying on people's emotions. So I shut that part of me off to protect myself. And years later, my soul guides told me it was the right call because with my childhood wounds, my past life wounds around rejection and judgment, being spiritually open as a little girl would have been way too hard. So I stayed disconnected from all of it until I was 25. And that's when my dad died and something like woke up within me. And one day, about 6 months after his passing, I went for a walk to the cemetery where he's buried. And the closer I got, the more my whole body was screaming no. At the time, I didn't know it, but I was already picking up messages through clairsentience. So I tried entering through another gate, and then suddenly I heard inside me, go to the bookstore, go get the book. And I knew exactly what book. And that's claircognizance, by the way. That's psychic knowing. And I crossed a huge Montreal avenue. No crosswalk, no light, not even thinking. Normally, I never do that, but there was zero traffic. Now I joke that it was like a low budget Moses moment. Instead of parting the Red Sea, I parted Côte des Neiges traffic that day. No accident. And at the bookstore, I asked for the book Journey of Souls by Michael Newton. And a colleague had told me about it before my dad passed, and I was fascinated. Michael Newton was a regression therapist who used hypnosis to help people heal childhood traumas. But eventually, some of his clients started saying things that didn't fit their current lifetime. That's when he realized that they were describing life between lives, the afterlife, past lives, spirit guides, soul groups, all of it with eerie consistency across people, cultures, and beliefs. And I devoured that book in one sitting. That night, I saw a blue light and my arms started vibrating uncontrollably. I freaked out. I screamed, asking it to stop. So again, I shut it all down. But something had shifted that day, that night. I started feeling things more deeply. I had a mini spiritual awakening and I reconnected with nature. I started doing yoga again. I rearranged my space. I felt alive. But still, for the next 10 years, no direct contact with the spirit world. Then, at age 35, I hit a wall. There was chronic stress, constant overwhelm. One day I yelled at my daughter, and in that moment, I saw myself like I stepped outside of my body and I saw the monster I was becoming. And that was not who I wanted to be. I wanted to be present, loving, an example for her. And that moment changed everything. I started meditating. Then I read Eckhart Tolle's books. I did a Mary Kondo style decluttering. And then I found a podcast episode with Oprah and Ainsley MacLeod, who is a past life psychic. And it hit hard. He was describing the soul world, the spirit guides, soul families, just like in Newton's book. And he said anyone can learn to channel their spirit guides. And I thought, well, my guides know me better than anyone. They've been with me since the beginning of my soul, the birthing of my soul, and they know my fears, my patterns, and how to help me heal. So, of course, I want to connect with them. So I tried. I followed the steps in Ainsley's book, and the first time I sat down to do it, I heard a creak in the floor and I screamed. Still, I was determined. I started taking courses so that I know what I was doing and I wasn't in fear. I looked for a mentor, but I was afraid of falling in the wrong hands. And that's when my husband mentioned a woman we knew from our wedding, and she had since discovered her own psychic abilities. And I remembered her energy, calm, wise, radiant. She wasn't psychic at that time. So I trusted her instantly. So I worked with her while also taking online classes from teachers in Australia and the UK. I started practicing channeling messages with oracle cards, swapping practice sessions with others. And every time it came so naturally. That's when I realized I've done this in a past life. So eventually I asked my spirit guides, I'm sorry, eventually I asked people I was doing exchanges with, do you think I'm ready to offer sessions? And the answer was always yes. People were amazed by what I channeled, things I couldn't possibly know. And that's how Meli Guidance was born in 2021. I started with channeled oracle readings. And a few months later, I was in a cabin doing an exercise my mentor had given me. And I was the goal was to connect with another dimension, whatever that means. When you're given exercises, when you're a student, you're like, well, how am I going to do it? And the mentors are like, they give you clues and they're like, oh, you're going to do it. Well, what happened is that I was meditating in front of a tree and I got sucked into that tree and I saw a gnome at the basis of that tree. And I got all excited. And because I was too excited, the connection ended abruptly. But as it ended, I heard, go read the book. And instantly, I saw a flash of the Akashic Records book I had brought with me, but never read. So I opened it. And in the first chapter, the author says her first connection was, yep, with a tree. That's when I trained in the Akashic Records and became a certified advanced Akashic reader because I thought, like, this is too eerie. My first experience, like connecting with a tree, is her exact first experience. So I got curious. I trained. I did the advanced training. And that's also when the business Meli Guidance took off. The Akashic Records resonate with so many people. They go deep, they heal, they transform. I could talk about all of this for hours, and I will talk about the Akashic Records in future episodes for sure. But today, I just wanted for you to get to know me and how I got there. And remember the question I asked you at the beginning? The question was, are we born psychics or can we become psychics? And here's what I believe. I believe that we all have psychic abilities. And it's up to us whether we choose to activate them or not. We don't have to feel pressure about this. You don't have to think, oh my God, if I want to be super spiritual, if I want to be the true spiritual person, I need to connect with my spirit guides. I need to be psychic. It depends on what you want. It depends of your life as well, because I saw that in our many incarnations, we have some incarnations where it is part of our missions to connect with the spirit world and to explore that. And in some incarnations, not at all. And you can be an old soul and super spiritual, and you're not necessarily meant to do that. But I know that if you're listening to this podcast, it means that you are super curious about this. So for me, channeling makes me feel alive. I want to share it with you. And in the episode description, by the way, you will find links to free resources. And my main resource that I have is called the Channeling Cheat Sheet. And I created that because it's the actual document that I wish I had when I first tried to channel my spirit guides. And I was all scared in my room because, there was this crack, creak, or whatever sound I heard that day. And I wish I had some kind of document to tell me, okay, when I'm wondering, when I'm doubting, am I imagining stuff? Am I imagining messages, or am I truly channeling them? And so this is a guide where you have this table. Okay, if this is what you're hearing or feeling, or if it goes like this or that, it means that no, this is imagining, or if this happens, no, this is you're truly channeling. So this is my main resource. And I also have a guide on the Akashic Records. I have many things. I also have deeper online courses if you're ever feeling the call to connect with your spirit guides and read your Akashic Records. So that's it for episode 1, everyone. I'll see you in 2 weeks. I'm keeping the same rhythm that I had with the Tea with Intuitives podcast. So it's going to be every 2 weeks. And in the next episode, we are going to explore how your soul was born. So thank you, everyone, for being here with me. Your presence means a lot to me. Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to the Mystical and Practical podcast with Meli Guidance. If this episode spoke to you, please subscribe to the channel and leave some stars, a thumbs up, or a comment. It truly helps to share the podcast with other old souls seeking a deeper understanding of the spirit world. If you're interested in getting an Akashic Records reading, a tarot reading, or joining one of my online courses, you will find all the details at meliguidance.com. This podcast was edited by plcm.ca and the original music was composed by record.bandcamp.com. Until next time, remember, we are all souls having a human experience and we can all be mystical and practical.